So CJ is going to go ahead and take it away with about 30 minutes of content. Thank you guys for joining live. Thank you those of you that are catching the replay. CJ, without further ado, I'm going to mute myself and have you take it away.
All right, sounds good. So sorry I was a few minutes late. So for those of you that didn't watch our guest speaker last week, I'm going to highly encourage you to go back and listen to the recording. The feedback that Ellen and I got from many of those that were on live is that that was a team call that was going to be on like automatic redial. It was something that they were going to go back to time and time again just to help them almost reset their mindset, if that makes any sense. So if you haven't listened to it, I highly encourage you doing that. So we're going to kind of springboard from last week's call. And so if you missed last week's call, that's okay. You're just going to springboard and dive into the pool with us. And you won't really miss a beat. But for those of you that did watch it, I hope that you kind of connect the dots. We're going to springboard from what Mark shared with us last week into today's content, which is really how much is enough? How much is enough? And so I'm going to start by asking you guys a couple of questions. So raise of hands. How many of you have hit a specific rank only to be disappointed by the level of income that was associated with hitting that rank? Raise of hands. Come on, you guys. Not joking. Raise of hands. You've hit a rank.
Can you say that again?
Yep. You hit a rank and you were only to be disappointed by the level of income that you were at that rank. Right here. Like, totally. Okay. So the next question, how many of you have set a financial goal in your business and missed it? Okay. How many of you have had a customer fall off, not getting the results that they desired, they said they wanted? They desired and said they wanted. How many of you? Okay. How many of you have not had the time to do XYZ in your business at some point since you signed up to be a coach? Right? Okay, last question. How many of you didn't really understand social media marketing when you started as a coach? How many of you still don't understand it? Okay, great. Okay, so how much is enough? If the lack of blank, income, time, success, skill, experience is slowly taking your passion away for this business, then this call is for you. So that means you're either a new coach, you're a veteran coach, you've been a coach for 2 weeks. Know that as you watched the first set of questions, almost every single hand was raised at least half of those questions. So we want to let you know that you are not in this business alone ever. We all experience kind of the lackluster, the decline in passion. And so tonight, I'm going to share with you some force multipliers. I'm going to share with you how you can get in, kind of get to the meat, and where you can truly hang on to the passion that you had when you first signed up as a coach. All right. So if you don't get this right, over time, you'll eventually get it right. But here's the challenge. If you get this, if you can't quite grasp and put these things into place, you're going to find yourself consistently losing passion for this business. You're going to find yourself trapped chasing the almighty dollar. You're going to spin your wheels of time in frustration at the lack of return on investment, and you're going to be stuck chasing rank. And none of us want that, but I bet if you were to ask, every single one of us on this call has felt those things. However, if you get this right, here's what's going to happen. First of all, you are going to find that this is the beginning of your journey to building a business, doing the things that you love leaving a lasting impact while creating monetary gain to meet your goals. So here's what you need to do. Here's what you need to know. So one of the very first things that you've got to try and do in this business is to find your unique genius. Now, the really cool thing about it is if you listen to Mark's call last week, you know that genius, that unique genius is already inside you. You have to look no further than who you are, the unique you. Next is you've got to create focus time in your business. All of us should be spending time in our business, not necessarily on our business. Next, you need to identify your impact. Now, I can tell you from experience that one of my biggest mindset challenges in my whole life has been identifying my impact, the value that I bring to other people. Now, many of the people on this call tonight can tell you that I've reached out to them. If I've worked with them really close one-on-one, I've reached out to them a time or two for a testimonial, because I really have a hard time kind of grasping and writing down what my value of my impact is. And then, as many of you know, I'm a total goal freak, right? So some people on this call are like tech freaks and tech geniuses. I'm a goal genius. That's where I love to spend my time. And so kind of the last part of what I want to share with you guys is that you have to learn how to define your goals. Okay, now, how many of you have been in a position in like corporate America where you've quit? You've quit your job for one reason or another. You've quit a job at some point in your life. Raise your hand. Okay. Now, let me ask you another question. Did that company go out of business? What's corporate America? Ellen, you suck. So, and did the company you worked for when you quit, did they go out of business? Shake your heads, yes or no? No. Why did you quit? Raise your hand if you quit because you wanted to go where you thought there was more opportunity. You were quitting a specific job because you were going towards opportunity. Okay, that's just part of life. And so what's happening is when you see people quit this business, when you see people quit your challenge group, when you see, you're going to see a ton of different people do that over the course of your time as a coach. And what you need to remind yourself and remember is that many people will quit because they felt like they were a failure. They'll quit because they're going towards opportunity, but that doesn't impact who you are, what value you give, or any of that. Okay, so here are the steps that you need in order to truly kind of be a force multiplier in your business. Number one is you have to have a heart to grow. In this business, you have to learn to grow outside of your comfort zone. So if you're an introvert, you have to know that this business requires you talking to people. As much as we would like to think that we can build this business 100% behind the computer, it's not possible. So you have to learn to talk to people. That's just an example. For an extrovert, you have to learn maybe not to bowl over people. So the bottom line is you have to have a heart to grow, and growth meaning internal personal development growth. You have to have an opportunity impact. An opportunity impact means that, like we talked about a few seconds ago, you need to know what your impact is, what your value statement is for your business. So you've got to have the opportunity to impact, which means that you need to be looking for the opportunity to impact. You need to be looking for ways to give back to the people that follow you, to the people in your community. P, you have to plan to execute. So many people get stuck in training mode where they never truly plan to execute. They're taking information in, but they're not actually implementing that information. And then next, you have to examine what's working and what's not. So if I were to come to you and say, hey, I want to teach you how to run Facebook ads. And you were to ask me, well, how many Facebook ads have you ran successfully? And I was to say, oh, one or two. Probably not the best person to say, okay, this person's going to teach me what to do with Facebook ads, right? By the same token, I would never ask somebody that didn't have a huge following in social media, how to build social media. You know what I mean, you guys? You've got to really examine what's working in your business, and when it's not working, you've got to go outside and find out, who's the expert? Where can I learn from? And unfortunately, it's not always within our network, right? So let's talk about the things that you need to practice, the things that you need to be doing. Number one is you've got to set your intentions for your business. So if your intentions are rank advancement, if your intentions are making, $1 million, if your intentions are, those are kind of your primary intentions. If we go back to what I said to begin with, if that's your only intention in this business, you're going to lose passion for this business really quickly, right? You're going to feel like you're trapped by chasing the dollar. You're going to feel like your wheels are spinning because you're spending so much time running after that. And if you ask a lot of successful people, and I don't mean wealthy, rich, I mean successful people, they're going to share with you that there's some type of balance in their life, right? Next is you're going to invest in yourself. Now, investing in yourself is one of a couple of different things, right? It's investing by going and buying a class. It's investing time. It's investing resources. It's investing, you know what I mean? It doesn't just have to be money. It's investing. You've got to invest in your business. So there's not many businesses in this world that you can join for $200 and not really have to invest a whole lot more. Most businesses require tens of fifteens of thousands of dollars in order to invest and build. This is a phenomenal company where you can just invest your time and a little bit of resources in learning. And a lot of the training, like Ellen's team is phenomenal because, she gives you guys so much freaking training. It's not even funny. When her and I joined, do you know how much training we received from our upline? How much, Al? And not that that's a bad thing. That's just not the way that our upline trained us, right? And so you've got the ability to invest time, invest money in your business. One of the other things that that Beachbody is actually really honing in on is documenting your journey. So how many of you did not take your very first before picture when you first started? Anybody? Okay, there we go. So I can tell you just experience myself. I have right now 13 customers that didn't take that very first before picture, and now they're kicking themselves in the butt because they wish they would have. So you've got to document your journey just like you tell your customers and your other coaches to document their journey as far as physical results. You've got to document your journey by, if you set your intentions and you invest in yourself and you begin to start to see the change and the transformation that morphs out of that, that's part of your journey. That's what you should be sharing, because remember, most social media experts will tell you that your ideal client is you 6 months ago. Like, where were you 6 months ago, and are you documenting it? And then you've got to ask questions. Ellen's team page is one of the best team pages that I'm a part of, because you guys are so phenomenal about asking questions. You chime in and continue to give each other answers. And so I just want to encourage you that that's one of the most important skills that you can have in order to be a force multiplier in this business. So we talked a few minutes ago just briefly about some of the things that you want to watch out for in this business so that you don't lose the passion for this business. Number one is too much training and not enough action. I said that a few minutes ago. But you can learn everything under the sun, but if you don't put anything into practice, it's going to be really stressful and really frustrating and feel kind of overwhelming. But if you actually go into a national wake-up call, into a team call with the intention of taking one nugget back, and maybe a couple of others, but one that you're going to promise yourself you're going to implement in that next week, you're going to see that force multiplier in your business like nobody's business. The next is comparison. You've got to stay away from comparison. We all fall into that trap. I can't tell you the amount of times where I like see Ellen's post. I'm like, oh, what a great idea. I wish I'd have done that, right? Or I look at like Amy Silverman. I'm like, wow, she's number 2 in the company. Man, I wish I could be like her. If we go back to the very first thing that I said in reference to marks, you already have everything that you need in your unique genius inside. I don't need to be an Amy Silverman. The world doesn't need 2 of them. I don't need to be an Ellen. The world doesn't need 2 of them. And besides that, I don't want to look like a copycat either, because then I'm not being unique to me. One of the other challenges that people fall into is the whole grass is greener. Now, I won't jump into that too much because there has been a ton of heavy stuff in the team page. But if your intentions in this business are to impact the lives of other people and help to transform them physically and financially, then you've got to be in it for the long haul. Now, I said a little bit ago that, yes, there are going to be people that quit, and there are going to be people that start a Beachbody challenge and then 2 months later turn around and do It Works. Lexi, you feel me? I can't tell you the amount of people that have started one of my challenge groups and then jumped off for a magic pill, so to speak. It's going to happen, but you have to be a duck and let it waddle off your back, let the water roll off your back, and not worry about it. And then kind of my last and in closing comment is one of the biggest things that I could ever impart upon you is the importance of business reflection. You have to take the responsibility of your business on your own and be able to really truly determine what is working and what isn't working. So in conclusion, you guys, and I don't know if anybody caught it, but you got to have the heart to grow, the opportunity to impact, the plan to execute, and the ability to examine what's working and what's not. So what I'm going to share with you is don't lose hope, because this business has the ability to transform your lives and all of the lives that you come in contact with. That's it for me, Elle.
That was awesome. I wanted to say a couple things. Actually, I want to say like 400 things, but I'm going to winnow it down to 2 quick things, and then I might get going again, depending on what questions we have and what kind of discussion we can now have. I love that it was. I love the time that you spent and that it's short enough, because sometimes the magic of these team calls happens in the discussion after. I was going to say a couple things. When she talked about being, I don't remember what words CJ said about being too busy. I mean, being like spending time in the business, not on the business, or however she said that. But it is really easy to get caught up in too much training and stuff like that. And I wanted to tell you that I used to like, I used to spend too much time doing training. And I mean, like, disproportionately, I had to flip that on its head. You guys have heard me say 80-20 before. I used to spend 80% of my time like watching training videos on YouTube and working on graphics for my challenge groups, and working on talking to coaches, like the fun, comfortable stuff. And I definitely had to flip that on its head. You guys have heard me say that before. But I used to post all these videos to Team Play Hard that were just like good training videos. And just so you know, I don't do that anymore. You will only see a video from me in our team page if I think it's absolutely outstanding, because I don't want to waste your time. So if you see me post, like I posted a 5-minute video that's how to make $600 worth of $200 worth. It was a 5-minute video from some coach called Brian or Byron or something, and it was dynamite. And I'm like, that's worthy of interrupting their busy day, or if they're inviting, or if they're power houring and they see this notification, it's worth it. That Shakeology video, if you haven't watched that Shakeology video from Shay Stanford, that new training, it was phenomenal. Like, I would, if I could require you to do anything, if you worked for me, I would require it. It was so good. So I just want you to know, like, moving forward, I've never said that to you guys before. I don't post good videos. I figure you guys find those on your own. I post them if I think it is worthy of that little sliver of time that I want you to spend on training your brain for the business. Because the most of your time I want you to spend working on finding customers and coaching them. The other thing I was going to say, and then open for comments, is, we had all that heavy stuff in the team page about people partnering with Whole30. Please don't get me started, because I will go off. Like, I'm about to, I'm like trying to rein it all in. But the Whole30 stuff, and then the jumping ship and doing 2 MLMs, don't get me started. Don't get me started on the 2 MLM things. But both of those things being really kind of weighty issues for us. And I really appreciated the tenor and the maturity of the team page and the dialogue and the respect for one another as we dialogue. I was so impressed with you guys. There was so much love on both sides of the fence for all of that. But I saw Anne's post, like the next morning, her transformation. And you'll have to give me permission to share that in CJ's team page. Her transformation. I mean, and she's not unique in this. I mean, she is, because her story is incredible and it is unique. And yet, how many lives do we see transformed over and over and over and over in who they are on the inside, but also who they are on the outside? We see it all the time. And I see that post, and I sat there with a lump in my throat reading it. And I literally thought to myself, I would do this for no money, which I know, I mean, you guys hear me say it all the time. I chose this business. I decided to do network marketing because I needed income. That's the truth. I needed income. I needed to make money. I wanted to do it from home, but still, I love what we do. I love it so much that I would love to be part of these challenge groups. I would still be drinking Shakeology. I would still be using the performance line. I would still be doing it. I would still be wanting to relate with people like you in my life, who you guys have made me such a better human being. I would still want that, even if I wasn't making the money I'm making. And I think part of what CJ was saying at the beginning is, when she had us raise our hands, have we been disappointed? Have we been disappointed? And we're all like, yes, 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 yes. So at the end of the day, would you do this if you didn't have that? Or if it took you a few years, which is likely, by the way, likely 5 years. It's likely. So I don't know. But those are the two things, I guess, I wanted to say, and then see what were your takeaways and thoughts and opinions after CJ's call?
Come on, you guys. You're not all quiet. I know that.
I have a question.
Yep.
Okay, so I've been a coach for a while, And you mentioned having the passion, finding the passion that you have when you first came as a coach. It's been a long time, and it's kind of hard. Like, how would you suggest I get that back? Because that was really intense in the beginning.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to actually take yourself back there, Kim, and you have to journal it. You have to seriously journal it. Where were you at in your life? How many kids did you have? How was your marriage? Were you currently working? What were the things that you remember going through your head that just made you so unhappy with where you were that you would take a risk and take a step out and do this network marketing thing? Everybody's got to get in touch with why they said yes to begin with. And for many people, the yes to begin with is financial. But then they found something else along the way where they got to the point that they're like, I would do this even if I didn't get paid. You know, and the biggest challenge, I had somebody in my team the other day ask me, you know, seriously, CJ, how much is enough? Now, I don't know that I want this shared publicly, Ellen, but many of you don't know this, but in corporate America.
You want me to stop the recording right now?
No, we're okay. We're okay. In corporate America, I W-2'd at over $390,000 a year. Now, does that shock any of you? Now, do any of you think I'm making $390,000 as a Beachbody coach? Any of you think I'm making that much? No, I'll tell you right now, I am not. Am I making near that right now? Not yet. Am I still doing this business? Have I jumped ship? No, I haven't. So one of my first questions was, how much is enough? How much is enough money? How much is enough impact? How much is enough success? How do you define success? Do you know what I mean? Like, you guys really need to set your intentions for this business. And it's okay if you started and are in this business to make money. That's okay. But if you're only in this business to make money and that's your driving force, I can tell you right now, you're going to be chasing the God almighty dollar, and you're going to be chasing rank for a really long time. Because I think, Ellen, you shared in your team page the other day that it took you 5 years, but you W-2'd over, or you made over 100 grand last year in Beachbody. Yes? Did I see that right? But it took you 5 years.
Yeah. I mean,
anybody else willing to work really hard like Ellen for 5 years to make 100 grand?
Oh, you know what I wanted to say then at that point is that some of the people on the team can attest, like I know Brian Saunders would, that those first couple years I started this business, he was seeing me posting on Facebook at 1 a.m. and at 6 a.m. I mean, I burned the wick at both ends for 2 years. I don't anymore, and I make more money now, but it really does take that kind of, sorry, you keep going because I was going to interrupt you.
No, but you're right. It takes that level of commitment. Now, do I think that anybody should be burning the candle at both ends for a long period of time? No. And I don't think Miss Ellen would say that either. But that's where I said earlier, one of the steps is setting your intentions in this business. Let me ask another quick question. And Ellen, just cut me off anytime. Has anybody ever had a boss give them a project and a deadline? Was it an option to meet that deadline? Did you do what it took to hit that deadline? So when you set intentions for your business, why don't you set intentions like that, where it's just not an option? And maybe your intentions aren't totally about finances. Maybe you really focus on your intentions of impacting the lives of other people, right? And that's why the helping 3 started to gain traction, right?
Yeah, it's the same thing. I mean, helping people and making money are the same thing with this business. You actually can't make money unless people's lives are changing. You can't do it. You can't do it. Even if, I mean, you can't do it. To succeed, you have to be helping people. And so that's why there's no shame in having a numeric bench point. That's not icky that we're trying to hit Success Club 10. That just means we are trying to make a bigger impact in our community, whether virtually or in our physical community. And I do think, you guys, Success Club 10 needs to be a higher priority. When I posted the report today, I think there should be more of us gunning for that. And I get that we gutter ball. I don't expect perfection out of myself and out of you guys, but I don't know, I don't hear enough it articulated in the conversations I have that is a non-negotiable for those of you that want to build like that really does. That's your job.
And Ellen, that's about setting intentions, right?
Yeah, so it is. Perfect.
It is. So if our intentions are all about dollars, then that goes back to the very exact same thing that I said in the beginning, is chasing the dollar and not succeeding in that, killing your passion in this business. So chase people. And I don't mean in an icky, yucky sort of way. Chase the ability to help transform somebody's life. Chase that. And that your passion for this business won't go away. Chase that. Anything else? Thanks for asking that question, Kim. I really appreciate it. Jake, what do you got to say?
I knew you were going to call me out. I just had a feeling. I love all of our team calls, but tonight especially was important for me. I've been in such a slump. And so this, in a lot of ways, really called to me. It was really important, and appreciate your time, obviously, and your message, and for bringing it up.
Are you going to Provo?
Heck yeah.
Dude, I'm gonna be. We're gonna talk.
Oh, I know.
You, me. We're gonna talk.
All right, I'm in.
How about you, Lex? Calling you out too, girlfriend.
I'm the same. I love the call, but I hit a slump in the middle of the month. And so, yeah, serious rethinking.
And I think when we hit these slumps, part of it is because we're not hitting goals that we had set for ourselves, and then it just knocks the wind out of us.
Yeah.
But I do think you guys all know, for those of you that know me, know I'm like the goal person. I'm like, let's set a goal, let's reverse engineer it. And I'm not saying not to do that, but what I'm saying is that you've got to make sure that your intentions in this business are aligned with something that's going to keep you passionate. And I guarantee you, I could tell you 10 different coaches that I know right now that are making great money, but that are not fulfilled in this business because they've lost their passion for what this business was designed to do, and that's impact the lives of other people and focus on transformation. So I get it. And Lex, you know, because we've been in this for a long time. Ellen knows. Trust me, I've been in my slumps. There's been times where I've wanted to quit. Absolutely times I've wanted to quit. But what's kept me here is transforming people's lives. The passion for that. The passion for change. Yes, ma'am.
I want to speak to slumps I've been in, and maybe those of you guys that have worked with me for a long time already know this, but when I am in a slump, if I even want to give it the power of calling it that, I don't know. It doesn't change my work ethic. And I think some people, when they're in a slump, they're like, I'm in a slump, so it doesn't change a single thing I do or don't do. I'm still all in. It would be like, I don't always want to go work out and teach my classes, but I still go and I still work really hard. It doesn't matter. Like, I just have decided it doesn't matter how I feel when I want success. It matters what I do. So I hope that's helpful. If you're in a slump, you keep going. Just like when you don't feel like it and you work out, those endorphins come. And then often you find mid-workout, wow, I really am motivated. Wow, I really am feeling this cycle class today or whatever. Same thing in business. You show up and you grind anyway. And then it's like, wow, it comes. The other thing in terms of like getting kind of in reference to both what Kim and Lexi said, and kind of in slumps and downturns and losing touch with kind of that fire, I think it's normal. I think it's human. So I wouldn't give it too much worry. And also I would say that some things that help, I think, are like just change something. Change your office space. If you have an office, go work at the kitchen. If you work at the kitchen, change something. Do a different program. Add in a different performance line. To change something. Start talking to maybe a different or a new success partner. Change something in your environment that might spark something new. So those are just
personal development.
Yeah, I thought that too. Change what you're reading. I thought that too. I'm gonna continue to think on that a little bit more, because I think that's a really great question. I want to sleep on it and give it some thought. And but those are my off the top thoughts.
And I think too, Ellen, a lot of times I know that when you and I first started really building this business, people would say, oh, what's the first personal development book I should read? And we used to give recommendations regardless of who we were talking to. Like, we used to recommend GoPro. That's the first book you must read. But the reality is that if we've got a brand new coach who's truly struggling with mindset and their value, maybe that's not the first book, right? Maybe it's not. So my recommendation, kind of falling off of Ellen's, is identify, if you're in a slump, identify why. Identify where the slump's coming from, and then go breathe into that some personal development. Are you not getting the results that you're looking at getting? Are you, like, whatever it is, go read into that. Audio, read, whatever suits your fancy in that regard. Anybody else? Miss Ann, what do you say? Bye, Kim. All right, Miss Ann, what do you got to say? Your posts are amazing, by the way. I have to agree with Ellen.
Oh, thank you. I definitely have had moments, even though I haven't been a coach very long, where I question if I made the right decision. I think it's still always in the back. I love the position that I'm in right now with Beachbody. And even though I'm not like making crazy money or anything, I came on because I honestly just have a passion to get people healthy, especially given my medical past. I now have like a whole new take. Now, I had a gym. I owned a gym for several years, was privy to meeting like literally over 1,000 women visited my gym. And when I got sick, everything kind of like changed perspective. And so my drive, like back then it was just something fun. It was, like I still had a passion for it, but my drive now is completely switched. And so that is what keeps me forward, and just keep pushing. And it's like, okay, well, I didn't get any customers this week or whatever, but I feel like slowly but surely my story's kind of being told. And I think that you had mentioned that in one of the other team calls that you had said, or maybe it was Ellen, I apologize. I don't remember. One of you said it. And I just thought it was kind of like a light bulb moment. I'm thinking, I don't leave a footprint. That's how I felt. Like, I just feel like I don't leave a footprint. And obviously I am, I don't really know what I'm doing, but to get, like, just this past week, I posted my before and afters, which took a lot for me to do, because I'm really self-conscious, but that got me 3 clients in the last probably 24 hours.
Always. Yes.
So yeah, I think that even though that was a big thing for me to do, and I don't want people to ever think that I'm bragging, because I so am not that kind of person. It obviously is telling a story. I just needed people to see that I'm a real person. I have physical challenges, and and I have stress, and I have 4 kids, and I'm about to start a job. So like I do everything. We all have that same 24 hours, as you were saying, and it's how you still have to find that time. And so that passion for me is still there, even though sometimes I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, and I will never be as good as you, or never good as Ellen. And, I do compare myself, but then I have to take that step back. I know, right? And I do that, and I'm like, but I'm also new. So this is all new, and it's a huge learning curve for me.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah. I mean, I think that setting, I'll go back to setting your intentions for this business. If you set intentions for this business like you just did right here, right now, and if everybody could set that type of intention that so ignites your passion, where it's not necessarily tied, the intention is not necessarily tied with money.
Right.
Money may be a goal.
Right.
But the intention is so passionate, then it's easy to ignite it when the flame goes out a little bit. It's easy to pull it out when you're documenting your journey, when you can go back and say, you know what, I changed that life. I changed that life, and I can tell you that in my times where I'm just, I'm like, 3 years ago, I hit probably the worst episode of depression that I had ever experienced. And what kept me going was the handful of women that I was mentoring and interacting with, and was helping to transform their lives. That's what kept me going.
Yeah.
So yeah, I totally agree. All right. Anybody else? Ellen's going to kill me. I went over on time.
No, I'm not. I feel like you guys know, like when we start the discussion, I know you guys are crazy busy and we're different time zones. So when we start the discussion, feel free to peace out.
Yeah.
But we appreciate that you stay for the heart of the call, which we'll try to keep to 30 minutes or under. You did awesome. You did better than me. So yeah, I think that was great. I can't believe we're going to Provo. It's our first team building retreat. We'll do it again in a year. We'll fine tune it. We'll refine it and incentivize it differently. But we won't be masterminding this Thursday, Team Play Harders. But we'll go live from the house.
From the house.
All right, guys. Well, thank you. CJ, Dana, we're going to do a 3-way Zoom with her. I texted your phone about it, so check that.
Okay.
And Nicole, you're kicking butt. Awesome job. Success Club.
Thank you. I'm having a lot of fun.
That's what I like to hear. Right there. Hang on.
So she's setting her intention. She's going to kick some butt.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Kristen, you want to stay on and work out a payment? Okay. Oh, let me stop the recording.